kept telling me he had no bus, he couldn't get, he's playing like a sissy, he's missing, let me see your bus. I hadn't started dancing yet. A tremendous sensational first round, and Burns gets first. Burns got done. Taco was done early in the round. Great first round. It's good. Perhaps one of the best in middleweight history. Hey, that black guy, he hits hard. Bang, bang, bang. Fire.
What's going on, Boxing Public? Welcome to another episode of Hands of Fire Boxing Talk. I'm your host, writer and reporter for RealCombatMedia.com, G.Alé Dampier, and I'm joined by my fellow Ring IQ admin co-host from Philly. We got Ibn Dawood.
You already, what up, Spence? What up, Spence?
Yeah.
You feel me?
Newly crowned member of the IBF
Don't
family.
I got rematch clause. I'll fight my mandatory next week. I got something to do.
And Julius Fox, headmaster of Ring IQ Boxing Talk YouTube channel. Oh, the YouTube channel.
Oh, the YouTube channel.
That's what I. Yeah. Let me at least finish. Damn. Anyway, so as you guys can see within the title, that this is a solely Ward and Kovalev rematch preview and prediction show. If there's any type of breaking news going on around, that's going on right now. To me, it is just Trump being accused of whatever the fuck he did. What was it? Obstruction of justice.
Oh, and
that's
the
it.
Warriors the Golden State Warriors unanimously voted not to go visit the White House. They don't want to say something.
And then on top of it,
I'm proud of them.
Yeah, good for them. And that's the only news there is today. No acknowledgement of anything else. No gossip. None of that. So
Billy Joe ducking Diddy Jacobs again. He tried to slide under the. Yeah, I'm saying.
He been ducking him. He ducked him and Gabe Rosado at the same time, B. Okay.
He ducked Gabe too.
He ducked Gabe Rosado, B. Okay. Well, it's something going on if you don't want to fight Gabe. Something going on.
Yeah, but yeah, like you said, he's been doing that for a while.
Yeah, he has.
All right.
That's why that shit ain't news.
Right.
He gives the UK a bad. Listen, he the reason why American fans be getting mad at the UK and it seems like they don't respect UK boxing. It's because of people like Billy Joe Saunders. All UK fighters not like that. And I'm glad that this is going on and I brought that up so I could get, because I know a lot of the UK fans, they probably listen to the podcast.
What's cracking, man?
But I know that a lot of them probably listen to the podcast and sometimes they think like American fans like, oh, y'all just hating on us and blah, blah. Nah, it ain't that. It's just that y'all be having people like Billy Joe. Billy Joe is a noodle, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, James DeGale is an honorable cat, yo. He's not like that. That dude, American, listen, you can call him delusional and all that, right? Khan ain't no chump. Khan to get himself into something. This guy, Billy Joe, man.
Billy Joe is, man, look, Billy Joe is bad for boxing.
It's terrible.
Billy Joe is bad for boxing.
He bad for boxing. Yeah, he bad for boxing.
I mean,
because he got belt and he just, he bad.
Call it what it is, he bad for boxing. You won the title and you ain't do shit with it. Yep. You literally ain't do shit with it. You damn near lost it to Wolverine. But it is what it is.
Logan.
Yep.
And also joining us now live from his car.
From his glove
Mr.
No, motherfucker. No. I have a truck. I got a truck, motherfucker. A truck.
Okay. Live from the cup holder.
Live from
right. Live from the cup holder.
Cup holder tripod.
Yeah, I got right. I got a truck, motherfucker. I ride high.
Live from the glove.
When you 6'1", 175, you gotta have a truck.
Yeah, I ain't motherfucking 6'1". Hey, motherfucker. Maybe with 3 phone books under your shoes.
Yeah, phone books.
All right, gentlemen. So obviously, like I said within the intro, Ward versus Kovalev, we're finally here. The fighters are now at the Mandalay Bay. I believe they're starting to wind things down. I believe they had their public workout today as well. Final press conference tomorrow, and then the weigh-in will be on Friday. So, I mean, there isn't really anything to make word about yet as far as what we've seen, because I think any final say on anything, or at least how the fighters look or how they mentally seem going into the fight, would probably be on that be at that weigh-in. So let's just say both fighters make weight comfortably. They look great. The main worry for Ward going into, at least coming out of that last fight, was seeming that he was too small for the weight, at least seeming at some point to defend his title at some point. He still seems like a very small guy for his division, and that definitely stood out, in the last fight. So I don't think that's necessarily, something that can really change. I mean, unless he could, put on more weight, but I doubt that would. It seems that way, at least from the last workout video I've seen. Andre Ward seems to be, his typical, really his comfortable weight. Nothing really bulky, nothing out of the ordinary to me.
No, he just ripped up.
Yeah, he just looks.
He
it's
on
rather
point,
cut.
yo. He on point, but he don't look big or nothing. Like, nah, you right.
Yeah, so I guess let's just go right into the first question. And I'll start with you, Ibn. How does each fighter approach this fight with what they at least what they know now from the last fight?
I think the way Ward was fighting towards the end of the fight, I think you kind of like fighting from that standpoint. The thing is not trying to run up in Kovalev's chest early. I think that was his biggest mistake. I think that's what got him knocked down. And you got to box your way to that. When a guy like that, that's big and strong like that, is still fresh, you know what I'm saying? And you like Ward size, and you know what I mean? You don't want to be running up on him like that. And he got like court going in, but I'm like, he should have been like kind of boxing him and moving still at that point. It was only the second round. I think he knows that though. Start low and come high. It's the basics. I think that's what Ward is going to have to come from. I think Kovalev should start fast.
Yeah, I was gonna say what about Kovalev?
I think Kovalev should start fast. I think he should like hop on him, like be aggressive behind the jab, not like crazy, but like, you know what I'm saying, like pressuring and keeping the jab on him, managing distance. Kovalev's good at managing distance, and try to like hit him with the bomb, like, you know what I mean. If you get him hurt, you know what I mean, go in for the kill. Because I believe like if it gets to the end, it count up scores, I think Ward will win again. But I do think that Kovalev is dangerous, man. He could knock Ward out. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I think is going to happen. Either he going to knock him out or Ward going to beat him. So.
And what about you, Julius?
There's an X factor when it comes to Ward, and that's that he's got the first fight as a barometer now. He knows what works, he knows what doesn't work. He can start off with the stab to the body, he can start low, then go high like Ibn suggested. But all in all, he knows, he's got to know that you can't hurt this guy. You can't. Whereas if you're Sergey Kovalev and you decide to hit the gas early, you might get him out of there early. So maybe that's what you should do. Instead of tying Ward up when he closes the distance like he did before, instead of tying him up, get into an exchange. Get into an exchange because you can take what he's got and hit him with something. That'll win the fight for Sergey at least. When it comes to Ward, I said this before and I'm going to say it again. I don't know how much more he can do in the rematch to win it. This is where a good fighter becomes a great fighter. If Ward can win this match more decisively than he did the first fight, this is where you become a great fighter. Because I don't know what the hell else he can do. He's physically outmatched.
And what about you, Bo? What does each fighter take into this fight, seeing that they can capitalize on in this rematch?
Well, the first thing that Kovalev got to do, he got to prepare for the best Andre Ward, because like what Julia said, Ward has a barometer. So Ward saw the best Kovalev. Well, Kovalev didn't see the best Andre Ward, and if he prepares for this fight like it's going to be the same Ward in the first fight, he could be in for a rude awakening. Also, I agree. He needs to come out and jump on Ward right away while he's fresh, because as we see going down the stretch, not only is he not as strong, but he's also not as accurate. In the second half of the fight, yeah, Kovalev threw more punches, but he wasn't as sharp and as accurate in the second half as he was in the first. So he definitely got to come out and jump on Ward, because Ward is small for 168. Like the fact that he even, that's why I say, I mean, this dude went up to a weight that he clearly is outmatched for, right? So Ward is small, and Kovalev got to do what was working for him. He's got to shoot that jab at Ward consistently. Shoot that jab at Ward that was working for him. Julius, yeah, you mentioned he should get in exchanges, but the problem is Kovalev is not an inside fighter. That's not his game, and that's hard to learn in one training camp. So, but Kovalev,
we know that Kovalev wants to end this night early. He don't want it to go to distance.
right?
He doesn't want it to go to the cards. And if he wants to nail this guy, he's got to get him to open up. So let Ward get into his sweet spot. That's where you got to nail him. It's ballsy. It's gutsy. But it's his best bet to catch Ward while he's open.
Yeah, that's true. And I agree with Daoud. Kovalev can definitely knock him out, because the thing is, listen, Ward took his shot and got up, and I was shocked that Kovalev didn't jump on him in, because you might not have got him out with that punch.
That was his biggest mistake.
Two or three more of them type of shots, and who knows what happened.
Not only that,
Andre,
I'm sorry, Bo, but I just want to interject that. Not only that, the mental aspect of him, like putting him down and then like, I'm on your behind. You don't get the chance to regain your confidence the same way. He allowed Dre to get back comfortable.
Yeah, the very first thing I do, what I got to do is get his legs back up underneath him. That is the very first thing he got to do. He's got to get his legs back, because he's going to need that in this fight, because the Kovalev does come at you. You got to be able to have them legs to move and be ready to be defensive and elusive. So that's the first thing Ward got to do, is get his legs up underneath him. The next thing that Ward got to do is he needs to frustrate Kovalev. He needs to do shit that will frustrate Kovalev and throw him off of his game in that ring. Get inside on him, grab him, push him around. You know what I'm saying? Pop shot him even and move back. You got to get in that man's head, because one thing we know with Kovalev is mentally you can fuck with him. And the very last thing that Ward got to do is don't get overconfident. Even if it's going your way, don't lose focus, because Kovalev can end this fight in one night. Ward's biggest advantage is always going to be his mind. The boy can process everything, but he still needs to be very careful, because, for all intents and purposes, Kovalev is more dangerous in the second fight. But at the same time, Ward is out to prove something too. Which that's what makes this a good fight. Two guys is out to prove something.
Yeah, but Ward can't get gutsy with this guy. I think he should, honestly, the fans might not like it, but who gives a fuck? And Ward actually touched on this himself. He can't focus on entertainment value. He's got to do him. I think he's got the right idea. This is going to be a boring fight. This has to be a boring fight if Ward's going to win it. One shot at a time, carefully placed, carefully timed. Don't try to don't be the bully killer in this fight. You tried to be the bully killer before, and you got knocked down because of that shit. You got to be boring in this fight. You got to be cerebral in this fight. People might not like it, but that's how you win a decisive victory.
And that's the kind of fight that will frustrate Kovalev. That kind of fight will frustrate him into making a mistake and doing things that he's not normally doing and throw him off his game plan.
I agree 100%. It gotta be cat and mouse, man. He can't try to run up on that dude. That's out.
He's not physically fit for that shit. He's not.
You don't run up on a. No, you don't run up on a guy that's angry and bigger than you. You don't do that. You don't run up on a guy. He's angry and he's bigger than you. You don't run up on that guy.
Right.
Exactly. And some of the advantages that I thought that Ward had, that I thought that he would have had going into the first fight, we see that he doesn't actually have them. He doesn't have faster hands than Sergey Kovalev. That's bad. That's actually pretty fucking bad. That Sergey's speed is on par with yours, at least in the first portion of the fight. When he still got some steam in him, that's bad. So whatever you do, you got to slow down this fight because you know what Sergey wants to do. You know what he wants to do. Pick your spots. Be very fucking careful.
I want to see. I'm anxious to see what type of adjustments Andre Ward will make in reference to defending himself against Kovalev's jab. Like, you know what I mean? What does he do with the jab? Because I've seen a couple of times he got hit with the jab. And,
he got to give him some feints, Evan. He got to feint him. He got to, like Ward didn't feint not one time. But he didn't feint. He got to catch it, but he got to feint too. Like Ward didn't feint at all in that first fight. He did no feints. So Kovalev had nothing to make him hesitant.
Right.
Well, at the same time, Kovalev's not necessarily too scared either of what does get through. Because he can't, I said it before and I'm going to say it again. Ward can't hurt him. Can't hurt him.
And he knows that. So, I mean, that's only going to make his approach intensify.
He can't. You mean he can't hurt him as far as what? Hit him with one punch and knocking him out?
Yeah.
I mean, as far as something to disrupt his own attack.
Yes, he can because a clean punch.
Yeah, he can.
A clean punch stings.
That was misinterpreted. Ward can sting him. Sting him like, oh, I didn't like that. He didn't like that stab to the body. I didn't like that.
Mm-hmm.
But we're talking about hurting him to where if Ward was to have his way and land 2-3 punches in that succession, Sergey Kovalev is no worse for wear as a result.
He probably just stumble. Yeah, he probably if he hit him with a bomb, he probably just stumble like off a 3-piece. Like boop back. He probably just take 2 steps back or some shit.
Yeah.
And a lot of people forget that a lot of people talk about how Ward picked himself up off the canvas. And a lot of people forget that Sergey's been there too, dog. Sergey's picked himself up off the canvas.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of focus when we talk about what goes into this fight. There's a lot of focus on what Andre Ward is going to do. How's he going to, what can he do? But Sergey's bringing a couple of things to the table that he didn't bring in the first fight. He claims that he didn't overtrain this time, that he was maxing himself out in preparation for this fight. So we might see a Sergey Kovalev that's rejuvenated.
Well, that's what I was actually going to come into the tail end of all you guys' input on what each fighter had to do, because it seemed like you guys were under the belief that was the best Kovalev to at least offered in that first fight. So meaning that he has nothing to improve on, or at least he won't look any better in the next fight. And that's where I kind of disagreed, at least with you, Bo, on that.
No, wait a minute. I'm not saying he won't look any better. I'm saying that that's the best Kovalev we've seen. So now Ward knows what to expect. He knows that whatever Kovalev I thought, this is a different dude than what I thought. And I need to prepare for that dude that I saw the last time, because that guy came in and that was the best that anybody ever known him to be.
Okay.
That's fact.
I mean, I was talking to somebody and they said that like a fighter, once you fought a certain fight, you can't improve. I'm like, man, how the fuck can you not? Like, then what the fuck is training camp for if you telling me you can't improve?
My thing is with Kovalev, right? Kovalev's approach never changed throughout the fight. It never really, like, his approach. And it was like he was dominating, and Andre Ward started to come back. He had made some adjustments and started to box, slightly differently. Added some things to what he was doing, changed some things. But Kovalev never changed any things back.
Well, let me. Well, that's what I was gonna. I mean, that leads to my second question. As far as how Kovalev's approach to that first fight seemed a little bit meek. At least it wasn't too.
Multi-dimensional.
Yeah, he didn't seem like he was ready. He was ready for another gear, at least or at least maybe he expected it. I don't know. Maybe that was just out of expectation. But he, has been very vocal about how agitated he is with everything. Of course, the overtraining, the how he still believed he won, and all that. So, with that being said, does and I think we've already asked this before, but just more of a breakdown of it. Does an angry Kovalev become a detriment to him in this fight?
It could. It could. But you got to look at both fighters when you say that. Is Andre Ward any good on the back foot?
No.
And if Sergey Kovalev, if his aggression gets him there, he's got to fight on the back foot. You can't come forward on this guy. You can't do your normal shit. What happens?
If it's controlled anger, yeah, it works for him. As long as it's controlled anger. If it's not controlled anger, you know, it could always backfire. But the
I'll press
problem
you.
is though,
I just want to press you on that. Describe how that anger is controlled, at least by your definition.
controlled anger is you going in there, you upset, you want to lay hands on this dude, but you follow the game plan to lay hands on this dude. You don't let your emotions get the best of you. You follow the game plan, and when you're laying hands on him, you unleash all your fucking fury while you laying hands on him. But be controlled. Don't be out of your mind just throwing anything, like throwing 5 punches and all 5 of them miss. You throw 1 or 2, they missed, and you get back in control and you reset.
I'll say this. I'll say that if we're going to talk about controlled aggression, Sergey doesn't have to land flush on Andre Ward to hurt him. He could fucking punch him on the arms with everything he's got and wear him down that way. Sergey's got the physicality to do it. That's the kind of controlled aggression that I think would win him the fight. He says, man, this can't hurt me. You know, whatever. Like, I could punch him in the arms and move this guy. There's plenty of times in the fight, Sergey shoots a jab and knocks Ward off his balance.
Yeah, several times. Several times.
And he's going into this fight knowing that. So if we're going to talk about controlled aggression, I feel that, you know, if Sergey decides, I'm going to let my hands go. I'm not going to necessarily throw wild punches, but I'm going to focus my attack on him. I'm going to hit him on the chest, hit him on the arm. I'm going to make sure he feels every single punch. He might end up wearing down Ward that way, because that's a form of controlled aggression. Rocky Marciano used to do guys. He'd punch him in the arms, and he'd wear him down that way. Sergey could. I'm not saying that he will, but he could deploy an attack like that. And that's one way to get to Andre Ward, because Andre Ward isn't that good on the back foot.
Ibn, any input on that before we go to the next question?
I think being angry is a bad thing. It's always been a bad thing. It could help. Sometimes it does help a guy, because because I think that his best bet is to come out and hop on him early. You come at him like super aggressive like that early while he's fresh, and because Ward doesn't really see, the thing about it is, when people say like, oh, he could just try to run down on him, the thing about it is that's what gets you knocked out by a guy you think can't punch, because you're susceptible to getting hit with shots you don't see, and the shots you don't see could just do you dirty, even from the guy who you think can't punch. So even when you say like you think Kovalev could try that, or you think he'll do that, I'm willing to bet if he came like that, something would happen and then he would wind up stopping. It just never really plays out when you talk about fighters on this level. Anger is 1 letter short of the word danger. That's what I know.
I mean, I'm on the belief that he can, at least with a controlled anger, and by that just meaning the instinct, the killer instinct to end a guy. You know what I mean? And I felt like even we'd had lengthy discussions on, you know, why he wasn't able to go for that kill when he did, you know, when to be so early. And one of the things I did give credit for, the fact that it was early in the fight. So, which is one of the, you know, worst times to, you know, for a fight of this caliber to get a knockdown that early. It's good for Ward because he already has the conditioning and he's there. He's at full stamina to get back up. Right. Had that happen a little bit later on, I think we'd be saying a different story, or maybe even seeing a different attack, or at least mentality on how Kovalev would go about it in that sense. So that's where I can't necessarily.
Well, you also would have seen a different reaction from the knockdown from Andre Ward.
That's true.
Because he's early and he's fresh, he can get up and not show no effects of that knockdown. If it's later in the round, and you've been battle worn, you'll show some effects.
Yeah. So, and I think that's what maybe might have tied into, Cove's mentality to go about it. So maybe, he was, trying to play the long game and just try to just put that round in the bank and just let it come naturally, because he's what I knows if you guys watched the 24/7, he was surprised just on how able he was, or at least how much success he was able to have throughout the fight. So I feel like maybe he didn't feel like maybe he necessarily need to. But this go around, I feel that might just go out the window. So
You got to think about that knockdown. Sergey Kovalev of his own volition says that he didn't even land flush on Ward when he got that knockdown.
yeah,
That was a knockdown that he got off of the lower portion of his knuckles. He didn't necessarily land clean. So when you think about that, it's only two variables on the table. It's either Sergey got comfortable because he's telling himself that, damn, I didn't even hit this guy clean and I knocked him down. Or that Ward actually, that was the reason that we didn't see that again was because Andre Ward was adept to the task. It's very hard to interpret because Ward was getting hit with that jab. He was. Sometimes more clean than others. And he was getting knocked off his motherfucking equilibrium with a jab. Okay? All in all, the only reason that I'm edging Ward to win ever so slightly, I'm mad that I made a pick because I was about to be like, yo, I want to pick nobody.
Well, I was gonna say, well, wait a minute. You don't have to make your pick. Yeah, that's coming at the end. So you don't.
No problem.
You don't got to go in that far.
This fight is close enough because a lot of people just don't want to take stock of the kind of fighter that Sergey Kovalev is. They've become very comfortable relegating him to some dumb.
And it seems like that's what it like people are falling right back into that trap all over again. It's like people are going right back to saying, "Up, it's a wash for Ward again."
But that's see, okay, straight up. Listen, let's keep it real. The only motherfuckers that's saying that don't like Kovalev from Jump Street. All right. The only motherfuckers that is saying that they don't like Kovalev from Jump Street, or they're doing it because they're Ward fans that want to annoy Kovalev fans. That's the only reason why you do it. Because if you know fucking boxing and you watch that first fight, there's no way you can say that. There's just really, I mean, it makes no sense. Like if you consider yourself somebody who is somewhat of a, like I can see people say, hey, I can see Ward winning 7-5 again. Okay, that's reasonable. But if you're talking blowout, no, man, no, you can't say that. And let's keep it real too. The people, also people that saying that, they saying it because they basing it off of Kovalev's outside the ring shit, not nothing that's about inside the fucking ring, man.
Because I don't like him outside the ring, but inside the ring, I still could give him his props. But a lot of people, they can't. That's true.
So let's let's go to the real meat on the bones here. What does a Andre Ward victory look like for you guys in this fight? Starting with you, Ibn.
Boring.
Boring.
Yep,
but how does he do it? I mean, that's the easiest part, is just to describe it.
Yeah, because that's what that is bottom line. Because that's what they understand it as. I could break it down, but they won't get it.
Well, go ahead. That's what this is for.
Yeah, I know, but seriously though, it gotta be like I'm telling you, like it sounds like so fake, like so corny, but like he gotta like start low and come high because he's smaller. And like Kovalev is longer and he got power and it really affects you when he gets you at the full extension. So like you gotta work your way in and work your way up. You know what I'm saying? But he showed he can do it, and he can do it in and out. You know what I'm saying?
So does this mean he's on his toes a lot? Obviously, like is he? I mean, this sounds like something that he's not going to be. He's going to be on his bike, and even I wouldn't see. Probably there wouldn't be anything beyond a 3-punch combo from him.
This is what it is. It got to be. That's one of the biggest things is the combination's got to be short, sweet, to the point, and we going, and we right back, and we going, and we right back. We got to fight him like that. Because he can't be in there like over exchanging and none of that crazy shit with this dude. Especially not early. Like after when they get like in the 8th round and all of that, it's like he can fight him, but like how he manages Kovalev early, it's going to be like very key. It's going to be key.
Okay. What about you, Julius? What does a Andre Ward victory look like?
Ward is to win a decisive victory in this fight. It'll be one at a time, very slow fight, at least on Andre Ward's part. What Andre Ward can do to control this fight is instead of looking to reply to Sergey Kovalev, Sergey will be throwing most of the punches. Sergey will be missing most of the punches. Ward's going to be doing a lot of moving. That's what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to take his time to pick his spots to land very clean shots. It's going to be the kind of fight where you see motherfuckers saying, but Kovalev threw more punches. But did he land more punches? What did he hit when he threw those punches? If Ward is to win this victory decisively, not like the first fight, to keep up with Sergey. You got to outwit him. Pick your spots better than him. It's the only way I see him winning this fight. If it's a slow fight, if he can keep it a slow fight, one shot at a time, then start mixing it up in the later rounds, he can win this fight decisively, not like the first fight.
What about you, Bo?
Yeah, it's gonna have to be your typical. It's gonna be your typical boring complaints about dirty fighting. I'm talking about from fans and shit. Yeah, complaints about, complaints about not a lot of action and just it's gonna have to be the typical Andre Ward complaints that you hear whenever he wins a fight, and that's the kind of fight he has to fight. He has to. That's why I say his legs got to be up underneath him. When Kovalev hit him with one punch, he has to get back away so that 2 and 3 don't touch. Then pop him with his own 1 and 2, and then get back away again. He's gonna have to make Kovalev exert energy by trying to locate and find him, and not being where he can be found. That's how. And then once Kovalev tongue starts dragging, then he goes inside and does his work methodically, slow, and all of that. It's gonna have to be Andre Ward Kessler, Andre Ward Frotch. It's gonna have to be that type of a victory. And unfortunately, people hate to hear it, but shit. Sometimes in boxing, man, you just have to win and then look good fucking later. Because I bet you anybody who's ever won a boxing match, anybody who's ever won a boxing match will tell you they rather win boring than get the fuck knocked out exciting. Any fighter will tell you that.
Yep.
That's true.
I've never met a fighter that got knocked out and said, well, at least I was exciting. No.
As long as the fans, as long as the fans are happy, I'm good.
Right.
I was gonna say those guys are gone. They ain't around no more. I'm kind of just, I mean, right there with you guys. Even though, I'll save my pick later, but I would be under the belief that Andre Ward would have to be moving on the bicycle, pretty much along the lines with you guys. 2 to 3 punch combination and all of that. I wanted to try to say that to at least be on the forward foot, to at least look like you're winning the rounds, is to at least have some point one of those steps be forward. Show at least some type of sign that you're backing him up at some point through the fight. So, I mean, all that has to be tangled into, within the same performance. So that's, at least for me, what Andre Ward would need to do for a victory.
That's hard to imagine, George. I think that clean punching is his best bet. Front foot too dangerous. You're gonna end up in a fight like the last fight. And Sergey wants that last fight. He wants that fight. So that cannot be the fight that he fights. Clean punching.
I mean, and I guess in essence, what we're saying is for at least an improvement for Ward to at least something to build upon in this fight is just to become a better back foot boxer. I mean, am I right? I mean, that seems like to be the gist of it.
Just Just be a little bit more accurate. That's all. That's what was missing. Clean, crisp shots. That's what was missing. If he can
Right.
land more shots like that, where you can see that this guy's touching Sergey more than Sergey's actually touching him, that'll win him a decisive victory. He tried to keep up with Sergey. He tried to do his Ward thing, where I'm the bully killer. This is a different kind of bully, man. And I mean, I wouldn't even
But
call
you know what
Sergey a
though?
bully.
I think the reason for that though, Julius, where he tried to be the bully killer, is when he got knocked down in Ward's mind, he like, I got to get that back. I got to get that back. I got to get that back. And for 3, 4, and 5, that's what he tried to do. It wasn't to round 6 where he settled into trying to do what Andre Ward does instead of trying to get that knockdown back.
See, okay. All right.
See, George yawning already. That's how boring the fight gonna be.
Yeah. I'm already forecasting. I had a busy day.
Honestly, Ward can't win a high octane fight with this guy. He can't.
No,
I mean, look, he can't.
no.
You cannot afford to exchange with this guy. You can't be in this guy's chest.
Any signs of excitement is a bad thing for him.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
If the punches start to fly, Ward's not going to be on the better end of that. That's not the kind of fight that he needs to be in. Not if he wants to win.
See, and I'm glad you said, because that's the point. When I was talking to these guys, I'm telling y'all, dude, when you see boxers who normally face punchers, they don't go at these motherfuckers. They take them in deep waters. Then you see them work their magic. They're not trying because they know that I can't win this type of fight with you. You know, I can't get in these exchanges and win these kind of fight with you because you got more firepower. That's not my game.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of firepower, now that we talked about Ward's way to victory, Kovalev, what does his victory look like? Starting with you, Ibn.
He going is going to look like him basically kind of like running down on Ward methodically, coming aggressive behind the jab, and when he get a push, if he get Ward head to go back, he could get Ward off balance with like a power shot when Ward tries to block or something, letting his hands go early, and it would probably result in like a TKO or something like that, or like basically not making it to the cards. I don't think Kovalev will beat him if it goes 12 rounds. I don't. But to stop him, or he could TKO him, you know. I couldn't say which form of stoppage. I don't, because like, it's like, that's kind of like crazy to be like even saying like Ward going to get stopped. But I'm saying like if Kovalev is going to get him, that's why it's going to be because like he knocked him out or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
And that doesn't seem too far out of the belief, seeing that he can knock him down, as we've seen in the first fight.
Right.
So it's not too far out of the imagination.
Let's just call it what it is. The right punch from Sergey Kovalev sends Ward to the hospital. Why not? Let's say the shit. He could fucking put him down and keep him down. I mean, that's the fucking reality. You know?
Oh, so reality is he got to though.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, he has to. He can't let it go to the cards. If Sergey Kovalev, if he has a key to success in this fight that Ward doesn't have, it's physicality, and that's how he would win the fight. Let your hands go. Throw a lot of punches. Take one to give one, because when you give one, he can't fucking take it. But you can take what he's got. That's how Sergey wins the fight. You are the better physical specimen in this instance. That's what you got to use. Your physicality, your force. It's funny because in my view, that same approach could win him the fight, but it could also cost him the fight.
Yep.
It could.
Yep.
Because you're going to make more mistakes. You're going to be more eager to take him out. You're going to leave yourself open more because you're opening up more. But at the same time, if you want to get this guy, you got to open up.
You got to risk it. You got to risk it.
You got to go for it. It's kind of like the Iswag Belgono in Brazil fight. Izu was fighting a great fight. But, you know, a lot of stuff he was doing was risky. Going to the body on a guy that fucking size, you putting yourself in the danger zone.
Right.
But that's what you got to do to win a fight.
Right.
Big motherfucker, what are you going to do?
All right. So what about you, Bo? What does a Kovalev victory look like?
Shit, it depends, man. If it's a victory where he wins by decision, it'll be it was a close fight. Andre Ward fans will claim that Andre Ward got robbed. Like the people it'll be a reversal of people who was the Ward people will be reversing. I'm not talking about us. I'm because those of us who know boxing, we can call it down the middle. But those of us who don't, it'll be a reverse. If he knocks
Yep.
Andre Ward out, there'll be screaming vindication.
Yep.
That's what should have happened in the first fight. So, but a Kovalev victory, unfortunately, listen to Kathy Duve, it won't get us the third fight. It'll just get us with two fighters met, and we'll forever argue about one fighter won one fighter won the second one, and that's just how that we'll always and forever argue about that.
Then it seems like Kovalev is hell bent on ending Andre Ward's career within this fight.
Well, I'm
So
gonna
I
skip.
guess maybe that's what they're looking forward
I think
to.
Andre.
But no,
I think I think Andre.
It's too much like an Andre Ward fight. So let's liven things up. Let's say what nobody want to hear. If Sergey wins this fight, Ward's going to the fucking hospital. That's how I look at it. If Sergey wins this fight, it ain't gonna be pretty for Ward. I ain't talking about no motherfucking decision either because I can see it. I can see him hurting Andre Ward several times, and he has a chance to end this fight before the half. He has a chance.
He does, and listen,
That's why.
if Sergey Kovalev win, now I'm just gonna say, listen, if Sergey Kovalev win, just like I said with the Brooks Spence fight, I'll be the first motherfucker to go live and take my lickings like a man. You know, I'll be the first motherfucker to take my lickings like a man, because it's boxing at the end of the day.
Well, I mean, just to finish up on the whole Kovalev victory thing. So it seems like, Ibn, you're saying his only way of victory comes through knockout. Julius, you're almost certain that in any victory for Kovalev is a knockout. If I'm
not
correct
so much,
in with that.
Not so much. Not any victory, but Ward is not physically built to take punches from this guy, which means if Sergey is going in for the kill, it's not going to be the same thing as when he went in for Pascal, because Pascal, he was more equipped for the job. He's a bigger guy, but at least he's more accustomed to that division than Ward is right now. You got to realize Ward fought Sullivan Barrera, then he fought a guy from 168, then he fought the best guy at 175. He's not equipped, not physically. Every chance Ward has relies on his skill and solely his skill, not his physical ability, which means that if Sergey actually does get this guy, he really hurts this guy.
So that's a no on he can possibly make it to a decision.
I honestly, the two things that I see: Ward wins a boring fight, Sergey annihilates Ward.
Wow.
That's the two things I see.
Wow, and there's no in between on that. I mean, those are two polar opposites. You realize?
No, actually, Sergey Kovalev can't listen. Sergey could easily win a 12-round decision. You know how? He has to beat the shit out of Ward.
That's what I'm. That's what I was under. Yeah, that's what I was going towards.
It's fucking obvious that like I beat the shit out this motherfucker. Okay, he has to make but there has to be that obvious because all that. And I say this all the time. I don't believe half the shit. All that son and judge, all that, fuck out of it, man. It was a close fucking fight. So miss me with that shit. Judges was never an issue in none of his fights, but he has to like he said, if Sergey Kovalev takes the approach he took when he fought Pasquale, he was physically beating Pasquale and being mean about it and not letting Pasquale go down. He would back up and let Pasquale regain himself so he can beat on him some more. That's the shit he can do to win a fucking fight.
Yeah,
he can beat Ward fighting like that.
You got to remember, he wanted ahead of the Pascal fight. He said he wanted to punish Pascal, and that wasn't just talk. He literally went in there and did that. Now, I'm not saying that Pascal is equivocal to Andre Ward, but what I'm saying is
it speaks to his intent.
That exactly.
It speaks to his intent, right?
And we have seen him do it before. With Ward, we don't know what he looks like in a rematch. We don't know. But we know what Sergey looks like in a rematch. And we know he's mad as a bitch. We know he hit hard as a bitch. It's like, hey, it's the other. I see two possible outcomes. Ward wins a boring fight. Sergey Kovalev annihilates Andre Ward. Those are the two outcomes.
I agree.
Right.
But I'm gonna say this right now to motherfuckers out there, because I'm finna be on that bullshit. For all you motherfuckers out there that want to tell me how Andre Ward fought 175 in the amateurs, he went to 168 to pick on smaller guys. Fine. Kovalev fought heavyweight in the amateurs. He went to 175 to pick on smaller dudes. So if he beat Ward, that's what I'm gonna haunt y'all motherfuckers with. All right. I'm a haunt you hating ass motherfuckers. And I'm gonna remind y'all about Better Beef and everybody else that fucking knocked that bastard out and the amateurs, okay? Since that's the shit we own now.
Jeez. Yeah, you're already prepared, man. Look at you. Got anything you need to say? Anyway, so I mean, let's just bring it to the final predictions, gentlemen. I'll go first. I feel like I'm probably the only one on the panel that is going with Kovalev to win the fight. I'm gonna go with a stoppage. I'm still personally haven't come around at least to the round yet. That's something I'll probably wait on. But at least I've came to the decision on who and what outcome.
Yeah, it didn't take you a whole goddamn week to do it either.
Yeah, and it didn't take me a whole week, and that upset some people for some reason.
Being so impatient,
you know, it's like, damn. You know what I mean?
No, man. No, man. Fuck this, man. This fake ass American black motherfucker. When it came to Spence and fucking Brook, man, this motherfucker needed a week. Now that it's fucking Andre Ward, USA versus Russia and shit, he acted like an FSB agent. Get this motherfucker out of here, man.
It took me 2 weeks.
That motherfucker can't act like a KGB agent and shit.
Hey,
Man.
I mean, listen. You explain the logic. One match already happened. The other one didn't. That's an easier.
That's a. Yeah, that was on one match I have. That's that goddamn casual logic. Get the fuck out of here with that.
Look, I know what I saw the first go around, and I'm like, different dude might work this out. So all right. So I mean, since you guys are pressing me on it, I'll tell you how I came around on it. Like I said, the first
because Putin told you better roll. You better roll with your country.
The first fight showed me that he can be offset by a mere jab. So I'm imagining a more up to task Kovalev to capitalize on certain success he already had and to amplify the ones that he should have taken care of. That, like I guess was talking just with Ibn about, being on the back foot, channeling that anger to, produce in this fight. So, I'm just, that's just my belief to it. I feel like he's going to pull it out. And
if George has Kovalev, I don't see anything at all ostentatious about that. Like, yeah, Kovalev can win this fucking fight, in case you didn't know. Yes, he has a good chance of winning this fight, in case you didn't fucking know. Honestly.
And also what brings to it is just the things that needs to be improved from Andre Ward for him to win this fight. You know what I mean? I already, explained what I would see, or at least think he would need to do to win a fight. And, and off yours, or at least how you analyzed it, Julius, you already seen that would be too much, or at least that would be a, just another way to slip into Kovalev's game plan. So, yeah. I mean, that's for me why I just can't see it panning out. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if he does, more credit to him. I mean, that's if anything, that's more of an achievement unlocked from Hands of Fire. If gets the victory, But With that being said, I just feel like Kovalev can pull it out. Which rounds and how it goes about. If it goes, if it's late, it's a pummeling.
Yeah.
If it's early within the 5, it's him just starting right out the gate, and just kept rolling with the momentum. So I mean, yeah. What about you? Since you're taking over, go ahead. You can respond and then go ahead with your pick.
Okay. Well, I mean, in either scenario, because I see two scenarios that are very possible. Both scenarios are just as possible as the other. One is they both start out the same. Kovalev comes out strong. Both scenarios, the one where Ward wins a boring fight and the one where Sergey Kovalev stops him at or before the half. In both of those scenarios, you have a very aggressive Sergey Kovalev. But the reason that I give it to Ward is because Ward was able to make an adjustment in the thick of battle, in the middle of the fight, coming off the canvas. He was able to do that in the moment. So what can he do when he's had to think about it? I believe that Andre Ward is that good a fighter, that he's gonna have the answers. This is good. I'm not settled. You know what I mean? It's just I have to give it to him on that. That like, yo, he was able to figure out something to do when he didn't have nothing to do. He didn't have nothing to do. Nothing was working. But he still was able to figure something out. So I think down the stretch, yeah, Ward's got this. And if he loses, hey, it's a close fucking fight, dog. Anybody out there who's picking Sergey Kovalev to win, I don't blame you. I almost picked him to win because Ward's not that good on the back foot. Sergey plans on being overly aggressive. He knows this guy can't hurt me. He's probably going to let his hands go a lot more. He's probably going to be willing to get hit a lot more. But in the same way that helps him is the same way that hurts him, because that leaves you open to get hit. I think he's going to try to be harder to hit this time. I think that he's not going to try to keep up with Sergey. He's just going to try to pick him apart as best as he can. That doesn't mean he won't get roughed up in the process. But I think that that's how he's going to win the fight. That's why I give him ever so slight an edge to win a boring fight.
All right, what about you, Evan? Earth to Ibn.
Ibn done passed out with that IBF belt.
Yeah, he's out.
He's got to fight Sergey Lipinets.
All right, Bo.
Did he pass out for real?
I don't know.
Let me see, because I see him.
Hold on.
Oh no, wait a minute. Wait, it's going to the thumbnail.
I got it.
Yeah. Bring that shit.
He did.
What am I looking at?
He did.
Yo,
he passed out.
He did.
Oh shit.
IBF
champ.
Man, that guy.
Anyway,
that guy be killing me, man.
Bo.
That guy kills me. I got Andre Ward, and let me tell you why. Alexis Romero said it one time, and he's absolutely right when he said it. He said that no one has ever got a second look at Andre Ward. Kovalev is getting a second look at him. And that's true. But Andre Ward is also getting a second look at Kovalev. And he's getting a second look at the best Kovalev he's faced. And he's a smart enough fighter to where he can go into camp with that he got to look at and figure something out. And just like Julius said, we saw Andre Ward make those changes. We saw make them adjustments when he didn't have it. And if he goes into camp and he gets his legs back, and he has all that data to process, and he goes out there in this fight, okay, it could totally be a different fight. Also, if let's say Kovalev come out and tries to jump, because I started being angry, Kovalev is also going through a lot with changing his strength and conditioning code. Like, there's a lot of new faces in Kovalev's camp, and there's a lot of new ears, and there's a lot of new voices in his ears. And that can be effective to you in a fight like this. Like, you don't know who to listen to. You don't you're trying out something new that you don't know if it works. You know what I'm saying? You don't know if that's going to work for you, and you're trying out something new in a fight like this without it being tested and being proven. And so that can backfire on him. He can come out being over aggressive and still, kind of gas himself out or tire himself out, because he can come out being aggressive and avoid his moving, and he's missing. It actually tires you out more when you miss a punch than when you land. But Kovalev is still the type of guy that all he needs to do is land one. He can throw five. All he needs is one fucking punch to land. You know. But I can see Andre Ward with that amount of time, with knowing what he knows and being the smart fighter that he is. I can see him going in, making the fight, making the adjustment, coming out in the second fight, and making it just a little bit more difficult for Kovalev. So, like Julius said, anybody that picks Kovalev to win, I'm not mad at you because, yeah, that first fight showed us that, man, you're like, maybe Father Time and inactivity has finally caught up to this guy.
That's
like
true.
Ward might not be able to get his legs back. I mean, sometimes you don't do something for so long, you just don't get that shit back. He might not be able to get his legs back, but you know, I just like the fact that okay, you got a good look at him. That was the best Kovalev we saw. He wasn't able to take you out, so you got something to build on. So, you know, like I said, I got Andre Ward winning again 7 rounds to 5.
I mean, the only reason why I guess keep going against it is that I'm just anticipating I would say the room for improvement seems to be more maxed out with Kovalev than it does with Ward. And with Ward, the things are, you know, that are at least the telltale difference, or at least the advantages, are just physical, and there's just nothing you can do about it.
That's true too.
You know, Kovalev can just increase his endurance a little bit, or at least prepare himself, or go about a game plan differently. You know what I mean? We talk about the controlled aggression. That could be channeled as far as him just maybe even having a more poised start, not necessarily so fast, but very accurate and sharp. And then realizing whenever he does have Ward in a danger zone or hurt possibly, to then have that be the moment where he, you know, maybe that's where the
explode.
Yeah, the true the anger can, you know, be channeled correctly.
You know, if he sees that he knocks Ward off balance with a jab this time, go in and knock his ass over, win the round. You know, get that point, get that knockdown. It could be that way. It could be that Ward loses this fight on the back to being knocked down on his ass a lot. It's just that that's not what I see. What I see, the two variables that I see, are that Sergey will in fact overpower him. It could happen that way, that he beats the living shit out of him. It could happen that way. Or Ward wins a very cautious fight. But the only one that I saw make an adjustment in the thick of battle was Andre Ward. So with that in mind, I give him a slight. And I mean slight, dog. Like, I was about to pick Sergey to win. That's how close I think it is. He was able to make an adjustment in the nick of time. If he can make an adjustment in the nick of time, he could certainly make an adjustment in the rematch.
Well, it remains to be seen. Like I said,
shit, I'm biting fucking nails thinking about this guy.
Man, I got a lot going on this.
How'd you notice I was biting my nails? Like, shit, man, it's a good idea.
No, motherfucker, that's nicotine withdrawal. Quit that bullshit.
I just smoked a cigarette. I'm biting my fucking nails. That's how good this fight is.
Right? He's still going.
Last fight.
I mean, so pending the post-conference or final press conference and weigh-in, this thing's pretty much done and dusted. Anything you guys are looking forward to in particular in this weigh-in from either fighter?
I mean, I don't imagine that it's going to yield any more insights than what we've already seen, because we already know what Sergey wants to go in there and do. And we already see that Andre Ward is being the typical, atypical, boring Andre Ward. Nothing's really different.
Boring Andre Ward.
He's like the Eeyore of boxing.
He's the Ben Stein of boxing.
Okay.
He's the Ben Stein.
Well, yeah. I mean,
are you guys ready for some masterful boxing?
But the guy is just the least charismatic of the most skilled fighters. At least Rigo raps. Rigo got bars in Spanish.
Yeah, he does.
He got some bars.
Matter of fact, I was listening to him 2 days ago, man. Him and Marcel Cubano had sent me a little video that they was making when they was doing some shit down there in training. I said, y'all motherfuckers is crazy.
Is there anything you looking for in particular, Bo, at weigh-in?
No, I don't. I'm with you. I don't really pay it like weigh-ins and all that shit. I don't really get into shit like that, man, because you can do all the say like the proving ground is the ring.
Mhm.
So all that other shit with the weigh-ins, yeah, I don't. Yeah, the proving ground is in that fucking ring.
Well, I mean, the only reason I say it.
Sometimes the guy looks gaunt. Sometimes the guy looks gaunt, but this isn't one of those situations. That's all it is. This isn't one of those situations. Like how they were talking about, Canelo looks so gaunt ahead of the Cotto fight. But he won the fucking fight. Teddy Atlas, he said Canelo looks gaunt. And because he looks gaunt, I think Cotto's going to win. And look how that shit turned out.
Yeah. Sure. Well, I mean, some certain details just will at least give you a hint on what the game plan for either camp is, going forward. So that's the only reason why I mentioned, for in particular, like say if Kovalev looks a bit maybe thinner, but not say necessarily dead.
We noticed.
And he's that's what I'm saying. He looks thin now.
You know what I am interested in? I want to know what the rehydration weight, how much water is going to rehydrate up to. That would be interesting for me.
Well, that is that is an IBF title is on the line, I believe. Correct?
Oh yeah. The IBF's on the line, so he's not going to rehydrate more than 10 pounds.
He might say, "Listen, I'm gonna come in a little bit heavier to help me absorb these punches." And I wouldn't be surprised if he did something like that.
No, I mean he's not gonna. I don't think he's gonna throw the IBF in the air for 10 pounds, especially not in a fight. Not for a fight that he already won. IBF in the air. IBF won't let you to rehydrate more than 10 pounds. So, like I said, that's the reason. Whenever you see that IBF title, there is a lot of shit attached to that title.
Yeah, it is.
That's why, like, it's not like you.
You got to remember though, he's going from being 100 to the 100 now. Yeah, he's going from being 100 to the 100 now, because he could always lose that IBF belt, and I guess fucking you could have Beevil.
Hey, look, man.
For that
I have seen two fighters in the last months say that they were going to throw the IBF in the air, but they didn't. They held on to it. That's Kell Brook.
That's true.
When they were talking about vacating it, and that was Anthony Joshua when they were talking about they might have to vacate it because of Pulev, but they still got it. I don't think anybody at this point in time is in a hurry to throw a belt in the air.
That's true.
I think Wood wants to hold on to his titles, and I don't think he's going to throw that. I don't think he's going to throw that one in the air.
Well, I guess to close things out and make sure everything's official, that's Bo with Ward, Julius with Ward, Ibn, I'm going to assume, is with Ward, and myself.
Evan, if you would nod your head back and forth. Okay, yeah, he's with Ward.
Yeah, he's Ward.
Yo, did he not?
So he's in and out. He's in and out right now.
Holy shit.
I gotta save my man's. So let me just close things out for him. I gotta go over there and tuck him in. You guys want to give your shout outs for your platforms before we head out, starting with you, Julius?
Oh yeah, Ring IQ Boxing Talk on Facebook. Ring IQ memes, join the madness. You know what I'm saying? There's all types of fun comments in the comments when you look at the comments under the fucking memes.
No fucking shit.
Relay on...
no fucking shit. I see this motherfucker on the same people who we be fighting, and I be like, this motherfucker Julius is wild.
Starting shit.
The relay on YouTube. Ow! You know what I mean? And just shout out to boxing, man. Shout out to boxing, because this so far 2017 is a hell of a fucking year.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a good year for the sport.
Yeah, it's been going down. Bo. Bo, you want to give your shout outs before we head on out?
Man, listen, shout out to everybody out there who is doing their thing on the grind in the YTBC, the LDBC on the grind, covering fights, talking about fights that these motherfuckers don't want to talk about and cover. You know, like the David Benavidez, like the return of our boy, what's his name? Shit, I had his name in my mouth. Oh man, used to be Brandon Rios. Shout out to Progress. He won. Yeah, Progress won the big fight. You follow me, Truth and Facts About Boxing, on YouTube. Also, Truth_Fact Box 1, capital T for Truth, capital F for Fact _ Box 1 on Twitter. Same thing with Instagram. And man, listen, just shout outs to everybody out there, my boys at the movement. You guys here, man. Props to Jude. Jude got over. I think he got like 1,200 followers now. So you know, shout out to Dawood. His son won the strap. Shout out to George for coming on out and admitting that he's a UK and KGB double agent.
UK.
And shout out to George. Shout out to Julius for getting Maricela the diva to leave him a fucking kiss comment after he put a picture up of her talking. Yeah, that's the kind of wild shit be going on.
I'm more of an Ava Knight guy though. I ain't going front, but you know that's besides the point.
You done, man? Are you done? You done embarrassing just about every fucking body? Anyway. All right. Shout out to Ring IQ and UK Boxing Group. Some good banter going on at both of those groups. Shout out to Julius, Bo, and Ibn. Thank you for joining me. And we'll hopefully be having you guys probably. I want to do something quick for this fight. Like I want to possibly try to do the next day. So we might want to try to do this on Sunday night. That sound good for you guys?
Right.
All right.
That's cool.
That sounds what's up.
Cool.
All right. So at Georgie Dampier is where you can find me on Twitter. G.Alé6 on Instagram. George Ali Dampier on Facebook. And I already mentioned the groups you can find me at. Subscribe to Georgie Dampier, Hands of Fire Boxing Talk. And you know, hopefully what was that? Yeah, you can. Yeah, you gotta keep your passports handy.
Before we leave, I want Dawood to turn his phone so we can see them straps behind him, man.
Oh.
When you talk about his son,
Anyway,
let me. Is he moving?
He's up.
Yeah.
He's alive. He's back. Anyway, so until then, until Sunday, go Kovalev, go for the knockout. Give me some money. Peace.
Got money.